Hello, grade nines, and anyone else who might be watching this. This is a lesson essentially on breathing. This is how we're going to start off every band class. And this is homework for you. This is going to be the easiest homework you ever get in your life. You need to take 10 breaths the way I prescribe twice a day. When you get up in the morning and when you go to bed at night. And that's it. You got to do it. Okay, and I need proof over the course of a week that you've done them. Okay, so once a week, I'm going to make you record yourself breathing. And if you're not doing it properly, I'll know you weren't practicing. So all I'm going to need is proof that you tried to do these breathing exercises, and you will get a mark for this because this is actually part of mastering your skill. Okay, so drummers and bass players, I want you to do this too. Because if you breathe like this, you'll be more relaxed when you play, and your brain will work, and you will send better messages from your brain to your fingers. So you're not off the hook just because you don't have to blow into a drum. So normal breathing, most of us tend to breathe from our shoulders like this. And the reason is we tend to stand with pretty crummy posture like this. And so the first thing that we do when we breathe is we kind of pull ourselves up. And what that means we're doing is that we are centering our breath up here in our clavicle, okay? What we want to be doing is breathing essentially the type of breath that in yoga we would call a full breath or a 3-stage breath. And we want to think of it as having 3 parts. First, we fill the abdomen, then we fill the chest, and then finally the clavicle, which is your collarbone. You're going to see that rise. It has to go in that order because if I start with this, I'm not going to open that afterwards. I actually have to stop breathing, consciously think, and make something happen. Whereas if I start from here, everything else takes care of itself because the air just keeps going up until it's got nowhere to go. You start filling in the bottom, it's just like a glass of water. If I keep pouring the water in, eventually the water gets up to the top of the glass. So what we're going to practice doing is breathing so that the first thing we see is our stomach come out, our ribs come out, and we feel our lower back expand. And so you get this. So right now I've only taken the low breath and I'm about 65-70% full. Now you saw my chest expand. I'm about 80% full, maybe 85. And then the top. So I'm not consciously trying to do anything up here. I'm not using the muscles to breathe. You're just seeing the breath finally fill that part of the lungs. So I'm filling from the bottom up. 3-stage, okay? And so first couple of times I want you to actually try to feel it as 3 things. Fill your belly. Then without breathing out, stop for a split second. Fill your chest. And then fill the top. Once you can feel those 3 different things, take it as one 3-stage breath. So it's continuous. And you get that. And from the side, you might actually see all the filling better. Here we go. It starts off empty and skinny. Like that. Now, when I go to breathe out, I want to breathe out by drawing my belly button in towards my spine. This is not accomplished with the 6-pack of muscles. Those are the ones that you flex when you think you're going to get hit. That's not what I want. This should stay soft. It's what's called the transverse abdominis. Your 6-pack is called your rectus abdominis, in case you ever want to amaze your friends with knowledge that you don't need to have. The muscle we want is called the transverse abdominis, and it, like the diaphragm, it's just kind of like a sheet, and it's underneath the 6-pack, so you can't see it. But when we use this, I want you to imagine that you're trying to put on a pair of pants you used to wear in grade 7. I think all of you are considerably taller and bigger than you were in grade 7. But maybe it was your favorite pair of pants, I don't know, and you're just trying to get in them, and you can't, and so you suck in way down here. I'm going to lift up my sweater so you can see what I'm talking about. Right at your belt line where my finger is, you suck that in. This still stays reasonably soft because it's not the 6-pack. You're not grunting, you're not preparing for a punch, okay? So we breathe in. Belly drops and goes out. Chest fills, clavicle fills. Now you're going to draw your belt in towards your spine. and then you'll see your chest drop, and then finally the clavicle. Okay, so it's going to go out in the same order that it went in. You're going to empty it from the bottom. And you're going to take 10 breaths like that. Breathing in through your nose, and then out through your mouth. You're just going to take 10. And it's important that we do this when we're playing a wind instrument. I'm going to show you the difference in sound with the saxophone, but it works the same for any instrument. Doesn't matter if it's a flute, a trumpet, a trombone, saxophone, sousaphone, harmonica, ocarina, it doesn't matter. It's all going to work the same way. If I just take a shallow breath, set up properly, have my mouth in the right position, do everything right, but only take a partial breath, and then I play something. Okay, because I'm pretty good at what I do, it still sounds pretty good. You know, it's a good sound. It's not great. No one's going to say, hey, that's the most amazing sound I ever heard. So say, oh, you sound nice. It's okay. You try to do that. You don't have 40 years of experience. You're not going to sound nice. Your sound's going to crack. It's going to break. You're not going to have the support that you need. You can't afford to not take a full breath. When I take a full breath and change nothing else, I'm not blowing out harder. I'm not changing my embouchure. Nothing is different other than where and how much air I take in. And you may not be able to hear the full difference in sound on this video because my cell phone, as all cell phones do, has what's called a compressor. So it will slightly drop the larger volume of the louder sound. But even without the volume, I think you can tell that it's a full tone. And when I do this in front of you in class, you're going to hear a very big difference between shallow breath and especially in the extreme range. If I go to play down low on a shallow breath, the bottom note is wobbly and it almost sounds like it wants to crack up the octave. Like that. If I take the full breath, the note is very full. The same thing for up top. Shallow breath. And the sound is thin up top. Full breath. And I'm not blowing any harder. The air is just being supported from different musculature. Okay? And when you take the full breath down into the diaphragm, your throat opens differently than if you're breathing shallow from up here. If I do that, you can hear what it does to my voice. I sound like a pompous jerk. If I'm going to blow like that, I'm going to get a full sound. And that's what you want, whether you're playing trumpet or flute or the saxophone. So your homework for the next 8-9 weeks, however long we're in band, is 20 breaths, 10 in the morning, 10 at night. If you do that and you submit your weekly proof to me that you're practicing your breathing, you will get marked on it and get full marks. Your options are to get full marks or 0. There's no, oh, it looks like he's trying. You do the work, you get the mark. Okay? So commit to this. And then when we go to play in class, for instance, the first song you're going to play, our song number 1, the book's song number 4, what we call song number 1, you're going to play the first note of a major scale. You're going to play it for 4 beats. And you have then 4 beats to breathe. I suggest you exhale quickly, the air you did not use in between notes, and then for 2 beats, you suck that air into the belly as best you can so that you're always moving air. So it'll go like this. 1, 2. would suggest, for the purpose of this exercise, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. When we're playing for real, we don't have time to breathe in through the nose. The holes are too small, it takes longer. And so what we do is we lift our upper lip and we breathe like that. You don't want to drop the jaw because then you're taking your lip and your teeth off of the embouchure and you have to reset it again. I can get away with doing that because I've been playing for 40 years. I know where my embouchure is. You haven't played very much yet. The chances you're going to reset it correctly are slimmer. So you want to make sure you just lift the lip like that. If you have to exhale the old hair first, and then go, that's what you got to do. Focus on that and you will sound brilliant within 2 weeks.